Hi Karl, great to see you at the range again the other day and do some further work on your game. Just a quick recap on the key areas that we covered. First of all, at setup, I'd like to see you with a little bit more distance between you and the club, and subsequently, maybe not that much distance, but you get the idea with that framework, a little bit more flex in the ankles so that we appear a little bit more planted. You're looking very much back on your heels in that view that we're seeing here. So wait a little bit more towards the balls of your feet, give yourself a little bit of room, get a little bit of flex in those ankles. In regards to the swing itself, we're seeing that the takeaway is rolled in a little bit, and as a result, when we get to the top, we're a little bit across the line. So again, club very short of parallel. If the arms continue to swing more, so with the fourth accumulator loaded more and the first accumulator, the right arm loaded more, this club would be more in this position, plane shifted very much to the right. From there, with yourself, you react a little bit differently to a lot of players. You get the club working over plane, but it just continues a little bit too much out in front of you. Club nicely in line at that point, but the toe end of the club is very much in the air. So we're trying to get the ball to draw a little bit more. We want the club just a touch more in behind your hands and just a touch more toe down. So we'll take a little look at you as the lesson progresses. What we're going to try and do here is get the club in a little bit more of a laid off position. That has the effect of rolling the club behind you a little bit less and allowing the length of the backswing to improve. I mean, just look at the difference in the overall length of those two backswings. Much better position. As you're rehearsing the laid off position, this is the actual shot. Longer, still a little bit across the line, but certainly better loading of the accumulators on the way back. The club now seems to steepen less during the downswing, and the club has crept ever so slightly more behind your hands at that point. Than what we were seeing at the start of your session. So we've got blade in line with the hands, blade ever so slightly behind the hands. So we're going to hit out at that golf ball for a little bit longer. So this one down at the bottom now is just to try and get the toe of the club a little bit more down coming into impact, and the club just a touch more in. We're going to get really laid off, which you can see that isn't, but that's the feeling that you've got. There you go, that's really laid off. And then we're going to work down to P6, adding some bow to the left wrist. So we're going to get some palmar flexion in the left wrist at P6. And you can see as you do that, the club moves more inwards and the toe end of the club works down. So we've gone from a very inline position on the top left to a more inside position on the top right to a more inside toe down position on the bottom left. So this is fine if you just want to hit the ball really straight. One of the problems you do have though, Karl, to be fair, is that from that position you do release things a little bit too much and tend to get the pull. The miss to the right is coming from the condition of this club face. It's too open to the arc on which you're swinging when you do get the club on the inside as you would want in order to hit the draw shot. So if we don't flip it on the way through, we're going to miss it out to the right a lot. What we've got here now is a wrist condition in the club face that requires very little manipulation on the way through. You can just keep the hands nice and quiet. So that was a rehearsal rather than a shot. If we take a little look where you get to in the actual swing, certainly longer at the top, certainly less across the line at the top. I mean, you just look at that as a backswing. Before and after, that's much better. And then as you start down now, the shaft shallows more appropriately. And the club on that one worked ever so slightly back in front of your hands. But importantly, the toe end of the club is in a slightly squarer position to the arc of your swing. So a little bit more laid off, allowing the accumulators to load more on the way back, allowing for a better transition, and then a little bit more bow in the left wrist at P6 to produce a club face that's squarer to the arc of your swing. Good luck with it, and I look forward to working with you again in the coming weeks. Well